right, everybody, so today we are going to be making our own paint. So how we're going to do that is we're going to be going outside or in our closets or whatever, we're going to be collecting a bunch of different objects that can be crushed down to create a pigment. And so paint is always including two things, or any kind of material is including two things, a pigment and a vehicle. And a vehicle is what makes it move across the paper. For crayons, that's wax. For watercolor, that's water. And in this case, I'm gonna actually be using two vehicles. I'm gonna be using water and alcohol. We're gonna see which one works better. And then when you go to create your own, you can decide what you wanna do with it, or you could find something else that you could use as a vehicle. So we're gonna be testing out a few different things. So to follow along with this video, I want you to go out and find similar objects. It doesn't have to be the exact same object that I'm using, but you can also use one of those, but try and come up with some of your own. So I'm going to be finding some that are outside and some that are inside, and to create 5 separate color swatches to create my finished painting. So let's get started. I'm going to go and I'm going to use some grass, just tear up some, the darker the better. And then I have these flowers out here. I'm going to use some of those. You can use coffee grounds or dirt or whatever you want. Just kind of try and find a few different options to use. Remember collecting 5, so try and collect maybe 2 or 3 outdoors and 2 or 3 indoors. All right, so I've got a few options. I have grass, coffee grounds, some flowers, some peppers. I want to see if those work, as well as an expired makeup palette. So I'm going to try out some of these. You could even make more than one color. Now we're trying out 5, but when you go to your actual picture, you might actually want to find more colors, or plan on trying to find colors that would actually match your picture, or planning a picture that would match your colors. All right, so let's get started and see how these work with water and alcohol. So first what you want to do is you want to put a little bit of water in each of these. Now the best thing to use to mix these up is like a Tupperware container, something that you don't have to worry about getting dirty. So then the next thing you want to do is you want to start crushing up that water and your pigment together. Now one thing you want to do is if you've got grass or something, you want to cut it up so that there's more openings into the fleshy center of the grass, so that more of that pigment will come out. The thicker bladed grass will also work a little bit better. I really fine bladed grass, and so it's working a little bit more difficult. Think about when you are playing with dandelions or something and you smear it across your face. Whatever will smear across your skin will also smear across the paper. So now I'm going in with some water. You really don't want to add too much water. If you add too much water, it's going to start to dilute. Remember, if you were using watercolor, the way to make your watercolor lighter is you'd add more water. So if you add too much water to your pigments here, you're going to find that they're too light. In fact, some of these probably don't even need water at all because they already have some of their own natural juices. So here I'm adding rubbing alcohol to some of these. And again, I used a little syringe just so I'm not adding too much again. And the rubbing alcohol, as you could see with the blue, was already making a little bit better quality pigment, because rubbing alcohol naturally dries, and so as you are starting, you're getting more of the pigment and less of the vehicle, and it also will dissolve things a little bit more. So here's the makeup, and then going in with the grass. You can see it's just a tiny bit darker, and in a little bit I'm going to show you what it looks like after it's all dried, because some of it might actually just be the staining of the paper with water. And so here's the purple of it. Now the rubbing alcohol did make it a little bit better. Now crushing it up a little bit more possibly may have had something to do with it, just getting practice after you've done this for a while. All right, so here it is, the finished product. So this stuff right here was all done with water. And then this stuff here was all done with rubbing alcohol. I brought it into the sunlight so you can really see it, and this is after it's all completely dried off. As you can see, the makeup probably did the best because that's actually designed to be pigment. This is the grass, this is the coffee, and this is the flowers, and this is the, the peppers. I'm gonna bring it into the shade too. I don't know if that's gonna make any difference. So you can kind of see this was water versus rubbing alcohol. As you can see, the rubbing alcohol did kind of bring out some of the other colors a little bit better. I'd say the most successful ones are, of course, the makeup and the coffee, but I can see a little bit of pigment coming out from the flowers and from the grass. So if you wanted to kind of get a wash look, you could probably get that as well. So depending on what you use as a vehicle, you might have something a little bit different. See what else you could find around the house that would kind of help create your own paint, your own homemade paint. So I am going to let you kind of experiment with this on your own, but this is how it turned out for me. All right, everybody, have a great day.